Her sister said it during a family gathering, in front of everyone. At least I'm honest about my marriage being hard. Not like you, pretending everything's perfect. She'd been married 15 years. Her sister, 7. And her sister had just compared their marriages like they were remotely the same. Like staying through 15 years of building something real was equivalent to 7 years of documented chaos. So she said what she'd been holding back for years, and the entire family turned against her. She told her sister to never compare their marriages again, that they weren't the same, that her sister's complaints about a relationship she actively chose to stay miserable in didn't compare to the work she'd put into her own. The room went silent. Then it went loud. Family members defending her sister, calling her cruel, judgmental, self-righteous. Nobody mentioned what her sister had said first. Nobody acknowledged the comparison that started it. She'd just become the villain for refusing to let the insult stand. And now she's done with all of them. This isn't a story about defending your marriage. It's about what happens when you refuse to diminish your success to make someone else feel better about their failures. When protecting what you've built makes you the bad guy, and when family solidarity means you're supposed to absorb insults silently because responding honestly is worse than the original attack. It's about the unspoken rule that you can't be proud of what works in your life if someone else's version is falling apart. She's 32, married for 15 years, has kids, a husband she's built a life with. Not a perfect marriage, no such thing exists, but a real one. A partnership that's survived 15 years because they've worked at it. Her sister is 36, married for 7 years. And for all 7 of those years, the marriage has been a topic of family conversation. Drama, fights, separations that don't stick, public arguments, social media venting, the kind of relationship where everyone knows too much because privacy doesn't exist. The sisters never got along. Different personalities, different values. The kind of sibling relationship that's civil at best, strained most of the time. Their mother invited them both to a family party. First one she'd attended in years. She almost didn't go. She and her husband had argued that morning. Something small, stupid, the kind of friction that happens in long marriages and gets resolved before it becomes real. He still wanted to come. They went together, kids in tow, ready to see family they hadn't seen in years. The party was packed. Relatives she'd lost touch with, cousins, aunts, uncles, the whole extended family network that only gathers for these occasional events. It started with small talk, people asking about her marriage. How long had it been now? 15 years? That's impressive. Rare these days, she answered honestly. Said yes, it's been good. Hard work, but worth it. The kind of measured response that acknowledges reality without pretending everything's flawless. Her sister was nearby, listening, and she couldn't let it stand. Must be nice to have it so easy, her sister said, loud enough for people to hear. Some of us actually deal with real problems in our marriages. The implication was clear. That her 15-year marriage was easy, effortless. That she didn't understand struggle because her relationship wasn't as visibly chaotic as her sister's. She tried to brush it off, smiled politely, didn't engage. But her sister kept going, started talking about how hard marriage really is, how some people just get lucky with compatible partners, how she wishes her own marriage could be as simple and conflict-free. That word, simple. 15 years of building a partnership, of navigating disagreements, of choosing each other through hard seasons, of raising kids together, of financial stress and family deaths and career changes and all the normal accumulated weight of a long marriage. Simple. She felt the anger rising but kept it controlled, said something neutral. Every marriage is different. Her sister didn't stop. Yeah, but some of us are honest about it. We don't pretend everything's perfect like some people. There it was, the direct accusation that she was fake, pretending, living a lie of marital perfection while her sister was brave enough to be real about struggle. Here's what her sister was really doing: reframing her own dysfunctional marriage as authenticity, as honesty, as being real about how hard relationships are, and reframing her sister's functional marriage as pretense, as luck, as something that didn't count because it wasn't publicly falling apart. If your marriage is struggling, you're brave for staying. If your marriage is working, you're naive for thinking it will last. If you complain constantly about your partner, you're honest. If you speak positively about yours, you're in denial. The validation only flows one direction. Struggle is real. Success is suspect. Her sister had spent 7 years making her marital problems everyone's business, venting on social media, fighting in public, seeking sympathy and support for staying in something that clearly wasn't working, and every time the family rallied around her, told her she was strong, that marriage is hard, that she was doing her best, which was fine. People deserve support. But now that same sister was standing in front of family suggesting that a 15-year marriage was somehow less valid because it wasn't as dramatic, less real because the problems were handled privately instead of publicly. She'd had enough. She said it clearly, calmly, but firmly. Don't ever compare your marriage to mine. They're not the same. Her sister's face changed. Shock, then anger. What's that supposed to mean? It means you've spent 7 years complaining about a marriage you choose to stay in. I've spent 15 years building one. They're not comparable. The family reacted immediately. Her mother gasped. Cousins started murmuring. Her sister's eyes filled with tears. "How dare you judge my marriage?" her sister said. "You have no idea what I go through." "You're right. I don't. Because you made a comment about mine first, saying it was easy, simple, perfect. Like 15 years doesn't count because I don't broadcast every problem to Facebook." The room split. Some people looked uncomfortable. Others looked angry. At her. Her sister started crying. "I was just saying marriage is hard. I didn't attack you." But she had. The whole conversation had been an attack, a subtle one, but clear, diminishing her marriage to elevate the struggle of her own. Family members started defending her sister, telling her she'd been cruel, that her sister was just being honest about her struggles and didn't deserve to be attacked like that. Nobody mentioned that her sister had started it, that the comparison had been dismissive first, that suggesting someone's 15-year marriage was easy and perfect was its own form of insult. She'd just responded. And response was apparently worse than initiation. She left the party, took her husband and kids and walked out. Haven't spoken to most of the family since. Her sister posted about it on social media. Vague posted about family members who judge others instead of offering support, about how some people think they're better than everyone else. Family members liked it, commented supportive messages. Poor sister, dealing with judgment during such a hard time. A few relatives reached out to her privately, said they understood, that her sister had been inappropriate first. But none of them said it publicly. None of them defended her when it mattered. Her mother called, asked her to apologize, said her sister was hurt. That family is supposed to support each other, not tear each other down. But support was apparently one-directional. Her sister could make dismissive comments about her marriage, and that was fine. She could respond honestly, and that was cruel. She told her mother she was done. Done with family events. Done with the dynamic where her sister's dysfunction gets endless grace, and her own functional relationship gets treated as something suspicious. Her husband supports her, says she was right to defend what they've built, that she doesn't owe anyone the performance of false modesty about a marriage that works. But the family has closed ranks around her sister, made her the villain, the judgmental one, the self-righteous one who thinks she's better than everyone else. This story is about the social penalty for visible success. The expectation that if something in your life is working, you should downplay it, hide it. Certainly never defend it against comparison to someone else's struggle. Her sister's marriage is hard, genuinely hard probably, and she deserves support for that. But support doesn't require pretending all marriages are equally difficult. It doesn't require treating a functional 15-year partnership as equivalent to 7 years of documented chaos. The insult was in the comparison, in suggesting that length doesn't matter, that work doesn't matter, that the only real marriages are the ones falling apart loudly enough for everyone to see. There's a cultural script that marriage is supposed to be hard, and it is. But there's a difference between hard in the sense of requiring work and hard in the sense of being fundamentally dysfunctional. Her marriage requires work, communication, compromise, effort, the normal hard of maintaining a long-term partnership. Her sister's marriage appears to be hard in a different way. Constant conflict, documented unhappiness, the kind of hard that raises questions about why it continues. But questioning that is off limits. Suggesting they're different is cruel. Defending your own success is arrogant. You're supposed to nod along when someone diminishes your marriage. Supposed to accept the implication that it's only working because you're lucky or naive. Supposed to never point out that choices matter, that how you handle conflict matters, that some relationships work better than others, and that's okay to acknowledge. So here's what you have to decide. Was she wrong to tell her sister their marriages aren't comparable? Should she have stayed silent when her sister implied her 15-year marriage was easy and perfect? Let the insult stand to keep the peace? When someone diminishes your success to feel better about their struggle, are you allowed to defend what you've built? Or does that make you judgmental? And if a family only supports honesty when it's about problems, not success, whose comfort are they really protecting? Where do you draw the line between being supportive and being expected to diminish yourself? Because she drew hers, and her family cut her off for it.